The station was supposed to be empty in every way that mattered. It floated alone beyond the mapped trade lanes, a thin ring of metal and cables wrapped around a silent relay core. Officially, it was called Relay Post Theta 9, but no one used that name anymore. Most maps did not even show it. It existed only because shutting it down completely cost more than leaving one human behind to watch blinking lights. That human was named Aaron Vale. Aaron was not a hero. He was not a soldier, not an explorer, not even an engineer with special clearance. He was a maintenance technician. His job was to keep the relay stable, run diagnostics, and report problems that almost never happened. Weeks passed without a single message, sometimes months. He liked the quiet. It gave him time to think, to read old books stored in the station archive, and to record personal logs that no one else would ever hear. The galaxy felt very large from Theta 9, and he felt very small inside it. But the smallness did not scare him. It felt honest. That night the station was as quiet as ever. Aaron finished a routine system check and stretched his arms. The artificial lights dimmed automatically to night mode. He walked down the narrow corridor toward his personal quarters, boots echoing softly against the metal floor. Nothing felt wrong. That should have warned him. Inside his room, everything looked the same. The narrow bed was fixed to the wall. A small desk held his datapad and a half-empty cup of synthesized tea. A single viewport showed stars scattered like cold dust. Aaron sat down and activated his personal recorder, a habit he kept even though no one asked for reports anymore. Log entry, he said calmly. Cycle 4000, day 31, all systems nominal, no external traffic, no anomalies. The recorder light blinked green, then it blinked red. Aaron frowned. End log, he said. The recorder did not respond. Instead, the screen flickered. Lines of corrupted text rolled past, symbols overlapping in ways that made his eyes hurt. Then a single file name appeared, large and clear. Watch before deleted. Aaron stared at it. That's not funny, he muttered, assuming it was a system glitch. He reached forward to close the file. The screen activated by itself. Static filled the display. For a moment he thought he saw shapes moving inside it like shadows behind fogged glass. Then the screen went dark. At the same moment, Aaron felt the air in the room shift. Not pressure, not temperature, presence. His breath caught. Slowly, carefully, he turned his head toward the bed. Someone was sitting on it. She sat with her legs drawn slightly inward, hands resting loosely in her lap, posture relaxed in a way that made no sense at all. Her skin was pale, almost silver under the station lights, and faint lines of soft blue light traced along her arms and neck like veins made of stars. Her hair fell dark and smooth over her shoulders, longer than any style he had seen among known alien species. She looked tired. Not injured in an obvious way, not aggressive, just deeply, endlessly tired. She was looking at him. Aaron did not scream. He did not reach for a weapon because there were none in his room. He did not run because his legs refused to move. His mind struggled to catch up with what his eyes were telling him. The station had not detected an airlock breach. No alarms had sounded. No teleportation signatures showed on the sensors, and yet she was there. Aaron tried to speak, but his throat was dry. He swallowed. How did you get in here? Her eyes softened slightly, as if she expected the question. I came the way forgotten things do, she said. Her voice was clear, calm, and translated perfectly through the station's universal interface, though Aaron had not activated it. That's not an answer, he said weakly. She tilted her head. It is the only one I have left. Aaron took a slow breath. Panic pressed against his thoughts, but it did not take control. Somewhere deep inside, a simple truth settled. She was not attacking him. She was not afraid of him. She was relieved. You're on a restricted human relay station, he said carefully. No one is supposed to be here but me. I know, she replied. That is why I chose it. The word chose made his stomach tighten. You chose me, he asked. Yes. She looked around the room, her gaze lingering on small details. The cup, the books, the thin blanket folded at the end of the bed. When she looked back at him, something like sadness crossed her face. This place is very quiet, she said. Quiet places remember longer. Aaron leaned back against the wall, needing its solid presence behind him. Who are you? He asked. For the first time, she hesitated. I was many things, she said slowly. Most of them are no longer allowed to exist. That sentence sent a chill through him. You're injured, he said suddenly, noticing the faint tremor in her hands. You should lie down. She glanced at the bed beneath her and gave a small, tired smile. That is what I am doing. That's my bed, he blurted out, then immediately felt foolish. I know, she said gently. I hope you will forgive me. Something about the way she said it made it clear she was not joking. Aaron rubbed his face and exhaled. Okay, he said. Okay, let's start over. I'm Aaron. I maintain this station. I don't have authority to grant asylum or hide fugitives or whatever this is. I am not asking for authority, she replied. Only time. Before he could answer, the station lights flickered. Aaron's head snapped up. That's not normal. The central console chimed, a sharp, alert tone that had not sounded in years. External scan detected. Aaron moved to the console, fingers flying across controls. That's impossible, he muttered. No ships pass through this sector. The scan repeated. Unknown signature. Multiple points of origin, his pulse quickened. They are looking for me, the woman said quietly. Aaron turned to her. Who? She met his gaze without flinching. The ones who erase. The word hung heavy in the air. Erase, he echoed. She nodded. Not kill, not conquer. They remove, they rewrite records, memories, data. Entire lives vanish as if they were never there. Aaron stared at the scanned data. The signatures were strange, fractured, like pieces of something trying to stay hidden. Why would they care about a relay station? He asked. Because you are human, she said. That made him laugh, a short, nervous sound. That doesn't make sense. Humans aren't important out here. Her eyes held as steadily. That is what they believe, she said. That belief is their mistake. Another alert sounded. The scan was stronger now. Aaron felt something shift inside him. Fear was there, yes, but beneath it, a stubborn refusal. No one told me I was hosting galaxy-level secrets, he said. I just fix broken systems. She rose slowly from the bed and stepped toward him. Her movements were careful, as if she did not want to break the fragile normalcy of the room. That is why I came, she said. Humans fix what others abandon. You keep things running even when no one is watching. She stopped a respectful distance away. I need to stay, she said simply. Aaron looked at her, then at the console, then back at her. The galaxy outside Theta 9 was vast, cold, and full of rules written by beings far more powerful than him, but this was his station. And she was sitting on his bed like she belonged there. All right, he said quietly, then we'll figure something out. Somewhere deep in the station systems, the file labeled watch before DELETED began copying itself. Again and again, into places no one remembered to check. The scans did not go away. They circled the station like silent predators, never getting close enough to trigger a full defense alert, but never leaving either. Aaron watched the sensor display with a tight jaw, his fingers resting near the manual controls. The station felt smaller now, as if the metal walls had drawn inward. The woman stood near the viewport, looking out at the stars. From a distance, she looked calm. From up close, Aaron could see how much effort that calm required. They will not attack openly, she said. Not yet. That's comforting, Aaron replied dryly. Why not? Because open violence creates witnesses, she answered. They prefer silence. Aaron leaned back in his chair. You keep saying they like everyone knows who you mean. She turned to face him. In your records, they are called many names, curators, balancers, archivists of order. None of those are true. What are they then? She thought for a moment. They are afraid, she said. That answer surprised him. They rule most of known space, Aaron said. They erase entire civilizations if the stories are true. Yes, she replied, and they are afraid of chaos, of memory, of species that change faster than control can follow. She looked directly at him. They are afraid of humans. Aaron laughed again, but this time it sounded hollow. You're giving us too much credit. No, she said softly, you do not give yourselves enough. The lights dimmed slightly as the station shifted power to passive systems. Aaron had made the decision minutes earlier. No active transmissions, no automated pings. The quieter Theta 9 was, the harder it would be to isolate. So, he said, rubbing his hands together, let's say I believe you. Let's say there really are galaxy-level erasers hunting you. Why come to me? Why not hide with your own kind? She lowered herself onto the edge of the desk chair across from him. Because my kind helped build the erasers. That landed heavily. I was part of a design council, she continued. We believed the galaxy needed stability, predictability. We believed removing dangerous ideas was better than fighting endless wars. Aaron's eyes narrowed. And now you don't. I discovered what was being removed, she said. Not monsters, not threats, but questions, artists, minor leaders, children who remembered too much. Her hands clenched. Entire cultures vanished without ever knowing why. Aaron exhaled slowly. He thought of Earth history, of burned books, lost languages, erased names. Why didn't anyone stop it? He asked. They tried, she said. They were erased. A warning tone sounded. One of the external signatures shifted abruptly. They are tightening the net, Aaron muttered. We can't just sit here, she nodded. I know. Aaron stood and paced the room. Okay, if they want silence, then noise might help. She frowned. Noise. Humans are very good at making messes, he said, especially in systems no one checks anymore. He accessed the station's deep maintenance layer, parts of the system written decades ago and never updated. Code patched over code, human-built redundancies stacked on top of alien frameworks. This relay was never meant to be smart, he said, but it's stubborn. He paused, then looked at her. What happens if they catch you? She met his eyes. I disappear. And shortly after, so will you. Well, Aaron said, forcing a thin smile, that's rude. He initiated a manual data loop, forcing the relay to replay fragments of old broadcasts, maintenance logs, personal recordings. Noise filled the system, not loud, but complex, layered, human. The external scans hesitated. They are confused, she said quietly. Good, Aaron replied. Let's keep it that way. Hours passed. The woman rested on the bed again, her eyes closed but not sleeping. Aaron sat at the console, exhaustion pulling at him, but he refused to rest. You should sleep, she said without opening her eyes. Not a chance, he replied. Humans push themselves too hard, she said. Yeah, he said. That's kind of our thing. She opened her eyes and studied him. Why are you helping me? He did not answer right away. Because you showed up, he said finally. Because you asked, because I can, she smiled faintly. That answer only exists among humans. Another alert flared. This one was different. Internal breach attempt. Aaron's heart jumped. They're inside the system. They will try to isolate you from memory, she said. Erase your logs, your sense of sequence. As if on cue, the lights flickered harder. Aaron's console glitched, text blurring and duplicating. Aaron slammed his hand on the panel. No, no, no. Images flashed across the screen, old maintenance videos, his childhood home, faces he had not thought about in years. They are probing you, she said urgently. Hold on to something real. Aaron clenched his jaw and focused on the room. The hum of the station, the weight of gravity, the woman sitting on his bed. I remember why I'm here, he said aloud. I signed a contract. I needed money. I liked quiet. The system screamed. She stepped forward and placed her hand over his on the console. Her touch was warm, solid. Remember me, she said. Remember that I sat here, that I asked for help. I won't forget, he growled, and something strange happened. The corruption slowed. The station's older subsystems, primitive, inefficient, human, did not respond to the erasure attempt the way the newer alien tech did. They duplicated errors, mirrored memory faults, and archived everything automatically. They can't clean it, Aaron said in disbelief. It's too messy. A sharp pulse rippled through space outside. One of the external signatures vanished. They lost a node, she said. Another followed. The erasers were retreating, not defeated, but exposed. Aaron slumped back in his chair, breathing hard. That worked. For now, she said, but they will adapt. He looked at her seriously. Then we won't stop here. She studied him, then nodded. I hoped you would say that. What happens next? He asked. She glanced at the recorder, still flashing faintly in the corner. You share what you saw, she said. Not as proof, as story. Aaron smiled slowly. Humans love stories, he said, especially the ones someone tried to delete. Outside the viewport, the stars seemed a little closer than before. Aaron sat at the console, staring at the replay loop he had set up hours ago. The data streams from Theta 9 were chaotic, fragmented, and alive in a way he had never seen before. The station hummed quietly, each light and wire thrumming with a tension that felt like it might break at any moment. The woman watched him from the bed, her hands resting lightly on her lap, her silver-blue skin glowing faintly in the dim lighting. They're adapting, she said quietly. The erasers will try again. They will not give up so easily. Aaron's eyes did not leave the screen. Let them try. They think they can delete things by erasing files. They don't understand humans. She tilted her head. Explain. They underestimate stubbornness, he said with a small, tired smile. We remember even when we shouldn't. We notice small things, little signals that others miss. And when the galaxy thinks a human is gone, we tend to reappear. That's why you came to me." She nodded slowly. "Because you see—" "Exactly," Aaron said. "And because no one else would. Your kind may know how to vanish, but humans notice the invisible." For a long moment they were silent, the only sound the low hum of the station and the faint creaks of its metal skin as it adjusted to the cold of space. Then, without warning, the lights flickered violently. The room plunged into shadow before emergency panels flared to life, bathing everything in red. Aaron leapt to the console. "They're here," he said. "They found a way in." Outside the viewport, he could see shapes forming in the darkness of space. Sleek, almost invisible ships gliding with deadly precision. These were not ordinary craft. They moved like extensions of some larger mind, hunting, calculating, waiting. The woman rose from the bed. "I hoped it would not come to this," she said. "They want to erase me completely now." Aaron turned to face her, heart racing. "We're not leaving, we're not letting them win." She studied him, eyes glowing faintly in the emergency light. "I believe you," she said, "but this is more than running, it is a test. Humans rarely survive this long against them." Aaron's hands flew across the console. He accessed deeper layers of the relay station, activating older systems built decades ago, systems that had been considered obsolete. They were clunky, inefficient, but entirely human in design, messy, redundant, unpredictable. The alien ships hesitated as the station began to broadcast again, a complex symphony of signals that confused their tracking systems. "They can't erase chaos like this," he muttered. "They need order to function." The woman watched him, her expression softening. "Humans create order differently," she said, "by holding on to memory, by telling stories, by refusing to be erased." Aaron glanced at her. "Then let's make sure the galaxy remembers you." He activated a secondary array, sending fragments of her life, her face, her voice, into multiple relay channels across the sector. The transmissions were fragmented, incomplete, but unstoppable. Pieces of her existence leaked into networks that the erasers could not fully control. Outside, the alien ships faltered. Their movements became jerky, their signals fragmented. Aaron could almost see the hesitation, the confusion spreading through their ranks. "They're losing control," he said, a spark of hope igniting inside him. "We're doing it." The woman smiled faintly. "For the first time, the erasers are exposed. Humanity has a stubbornness they cannot comprehend." Aaron laughed softly, a mixture of relief and disbelief. "Yeah, that's what we do." But the danger was far from over. The erasers were adapting, sending reinforcements, recalibrating. Aaron knew this was only the beginning. The station shuddered as external fields shifted. Something large was moving closer. He barely had time to glance at the viewport before a massive shape appeared. A command vessel, dark, angular, menacing, bristling with sensors and unknown weapons. "They brought a leader," the woman said. "It will attempt to erase me entirely. No mistakes allowed." Aaron felt the weight of the moment settle on him. One human, one alien, alone against an entire galactic force. Yet even as fear threatened to overwhelm him, he felt something stronger, determination. The strange, quiet courage that humans always carried, even when hope seemed impossible. He initiated every countermeasure the station allowed. Triggers, noise loops, relay diversions, even physical feedback pulses designed to overload approaching systems. Every motion was calculated to disrupt, confuse, and buy them time. The human stubbornness she spoke of became their weapon. The alien command vessel hesitated, its systems struggling against the chaotic signals. Aaron and the woman worked in perfect sync, guiding the station's functions with an intuitive understanding of what humans did best: unexpected solutions, improvisation, and relentless persistence. Minutes stretched into hours. The erasers' ships faltered one by one. Their communications became erratic, their formation broken. Outside the viewport, shapes dissolved back into the darkness of space, retreating, defeated not by brute force, but by human ingenuity and the will to remember. Aaron collapsed into the chair, exhausted, sweat glistening on his forehead. "We did it," he whispered. "They're gone for now." The woman stepped closer, placing a hand on his shoulder. "No, Aaron, you did it. Humanity did it." He shook his head. "We barely survived." "We're not heroes." "You are," she said, her voice gentle. "Not because you fight, not because you conquer, but because you remember. You do not let things vanish without witness. You do not let stories die." Aaron looked at her, feeling something shift deep inside him. "So that's why you sat on my bed," he said quietly. "Not for safety, but for memory." She smiled faintly, eyes shining. "Yes, to be remembered, to remind you that even the smallest act of recognition matters. Even humans who seem insignificant can change the galaxy by refusing to forget." Outside, the stars continued to burn, distant and silent witnesses to the battle that had just occurred. The station hummed softly, alive with the memory of what had happened. And within its walls, two unlikely allies, human and alien, sat quietly, bound by trust, resilience, and the stubborn strength of humanity. Aaron exhaled, letting himself relax for the first time in days. "We need to tell someone," he said. "The galaxy needs to know what they tried to erase." She nodded. "Yes, share the story. Let the galaxy see that humans remember. Let them see that presence matters." Aaron smiled, a tired but genuine expression. "Then we'll make sure the world remembers. Starting with this station." And so, on the edge of forgotten space, humanity's stubbornness proved stronger than the eraser's power. Not through war, not through conquest, but through memory, presence, and the quiet courage of one human refusing to let the invisible disappear. The woman leaned back on the bed, finally at rest, and Aaron settled at the console. Together, they watched the stars, knowing the galaxy would never forget her again. Not because of fleets or weapons, but because humans, at their best, notice the things the rest of the universe tries to erase.